The gunshot was clearly the redhead's final warning, forcing Damon to flee as life seemingly returned to normal. Utah, unable to go to Paris, decided to enjoy the present, but unexpected chaos arose from Clem's sleepless nights. Devoted to teaching materials, his eyes staged a protest. Everything around blurred, and she stumbled out, urgently calling for her wife. But by all accounts, it was clear the husband was now starring in a Where's Waldo episode, except he couldn't find Waldo either. Even in such trouble, Utah urged her husband to drop teaching, go to Paris with her. Time for a fresh start, but every time Clem just brushed it off like he was swatting flies. This left his wife more disappointed than a kid whose ice cream fell on the ground. Due to Clem's poor vision, the teaching plan was put on hold. To keep the lights on, Clem decided to take on dwarf-sized tasks. This left his wife in despair, like a cat left at home alone. All her dreams of Paris and a wonderful future evaporated like a mirage. A few days later, she ditched the dutiful wife actor and slipped into her finest attire for a dance in the neighbouring village. Meanwhile, Clem was at work, looking less than thrilled about his wife's newfound party girl energy. Feeling shy? I sure am just like a kid caught with their hand in the cookie jar. But she firmly told her husband, as long as you're my husband with no doubts, I'm not sticking around. In the end, Clem couldn't argue with his wife, letting her off to the ball where surprise. She encountered Damon. He eagerly invited her to dance, like a kid inviting their best friend to their birthday party. Damon explained that his wife and Clem were cousins, so really, they were practically family. What's a little dance among relatives? So hand in hand, they twirled under the watchful eyes of the crowd, which totally wasn't awkward at all. What was once a dull existence was suddenly recharged by this burst of dance energy. She couldn't resist. She blurted out, "Sorry, Clem, but yeah, this is way more fun." We all thought he'd whisk you off to Paris. He's definitely more fun-sized. Got a bounce. But hey, I can walk you home if you're up for more drama. On their way home, they coincidentally bumped into Clem and Digley. Unfortunately, Clem's vision issues meant he was oblivious to his wife frolicking with Damon. Digley saw all, staying silent under Utah's glare. Later, he gallantly visited Clem's mom to tactfully drop the house party news. Clem's mom was already over her son's drama and resolved not to poke the bear again. But because he was her only child, she decided to at least check in on the walking disaster. Meanwhile, husband was snoozing by the fire, blissfully unaware of the house party chaos. Someone knocked Utah and Damon practically jumped out of their skins, peeking like startled meerkats. Utah was far too terrified to open up. If Damon was caught, the ball would be over. So she had Damon slip out the back, feigning calm while opening the front door. Old lady had already left, not realizing she was headed straight into a storm of drama. Meanwhile, lady was storming home feeling under the weather, perhaps heartbroken by her son. On the way home, she face-planted, and little did she know a boy happened to witness the epic fail. Naturally, she didn't feel like explaining things, so right before passing out, she dropped the hot tea on the kid, and with that, she closed her eyes like a magician pulls a rabbit out of a hat. Realizing something was off, the boy dashed over to Clem's and spilled the beans. Without much thought, Clem rushed to his mother's last known location. Clem clutched his mother's lifeless body, feeling like the world's most negligent son. But deep down, everyone knew the culprit behind this melodrama was none other than Utah. And to top it off, Clem heard from some garage gossip that on a fateful day, a mystery man bolted from his house. Who was he? Not a clue. But Clem had an epiphany. I know exactly what's going on here. Clem's anger spiked. He was convinced his wife was up to no good. Cue the dramatic music. This led to their first epic showdown, with Clem throwing around accusations of his wife being cold and flighty. She claimed no wrong, but accuses you of deceit. In front of his wife, Clem realized he had indeed been the deceiver, leaving her speechless. Soon after, Utah packed her bags and moved in with Grandad for a new chapter. In the days that followed, she eagerly awaited news from Clem like waiting for the pizza delivery. Little did she know, Clem was playing the silent treatment card, and not even a postcard came her way.